I am literally just coming off the Senate floor where I voted no for Senator Mullen. I've worked with him in the House on the Energy and Commerce Committee. But this job at this time in the history of this country is not a job for people who, it's not on the job training right now. We know that I have not seen any concessions, as you mentioned, or any kind of anything that would give me confidence that he would take this agency to the next level and that he would instill that confidence that we as the American people want to see. As a matter of fact, I think the fact that he has been so loyal to Trump, we may see more of the same. And so I just voted no on the floor. And, you know, we're going to see what comes out should he make it through this process. But there's not a lot of confidence there.
Earlier today, one of your Democratic colleagues, John Fetterman, voted to advance this nomination out of the Senate Homeland Security Committee. If this nomination passes with the support of a Democrat, what would you say to your colleagues about that choice?
I mean, again, you know, each senator has to vote their own conscience, vote their own state. But it is clear that the challenges that we face right now in this moment and what we're seeing from Homeland Security, it is not making us safer. It is not making us more secure. As a matter of fact, even just today, watching what is happening at airports across this country should give people more pause. Democrats have actually put up 8 times bills to say, let's open up the other parts of the Department of Homeland Security while we continue to negotiate on ICE. And mind you, even the things that we're talking about in terms of ICE reforms are not things that are crazy. These are common sense things. Like, you shouldn't have these folks just storming into your home without a judicial warrant. They should not be wearing masks. And instead, what we're seeing is that now, in addition to being deployed on our cities and our towns, they're deploying ICE in the airports. Again, it's not making us safer. It's not making us stronger as a country. And it actually is doing the reverse. I would also say that I am the ranking member of the Coast Guard subcommittee. We as Democrats said, listen, TSA, Coast Guard, these are agencies that FEMA, people want, need, and we all agree. And then what happens today? Donald Trump, even when Republicans are starting to see the impact, because 6 in 10 Americans don't like what's happening. Even our Republican colleagues, when they are trying to negotiate with us, Donald Trump says no, because I want you to pass the SAVE Act. And we're asking, what are you trying to save us from? Our democracy?
It's a very good question, Senator. Alicia put John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, on the table. I'll add to that list Democratic Senator Martin Heinrich of New Mexico, saying he considers Markwayne Mullin a friend and he's going to support him. This is actually ridiculous. I think that, as I've been talking to folks out there, just regular folks that don't do, aren't professional politicos, as I like to say, don't do politics every day, but are just watching it. They feel as though that all of the Democrats don't understand the assignment. And I think that if you juxtapose that with what you just said, is the fact that Democrats have put a number of bills on the floor, specifically to fund the Coast Guard, specifically to fund TSA, and it's Republicans that have put it down. I do think it's kind of this fact that Democrats are going to help Markwayne Mullin, some Democrats are going to help Markwayne Mullin get over the hump, is something that if you all are not clear with the American people that y'all ain't want this and these senators went rogue, whatever it is you want to say, it could get muddled, because you've got the U.S. Travel Association putting out a message to Congress as Congress prepares to leave for a 2-week paid vacation. And they said this: do not board that flight, pack that bag, or clear that schedule until TSA officers have been paid. Walking away from that responsibility is not a recess. It is a dereliction of duty. Fix this before you leave Washington. Pass the funding. Pay our TSA officers. The American people are watching, and they will remember who stayed to get it done and who didn't. Again, a lot of message about Congress in general, but I do think people need to be specific. Are Democrats going to stay this weekend to try to put more pressure on?
Simone, can I say this? Because I have to go vote on another vote. But I will say this. In my state, I have a saying, let me be blunt. Let me be blunt. When people look at their grocery bills right now, remember who's in charge. When people go to the gas pump right now and we see skyrocketing prices on a war that they never told us why we got in and they can't figure out how to get out, remember who's in charge. When you think about the fact that I come from the state of Delaware, where the dignified transfers happen when bodies come home from war, and that people are afraid for their family members, remember who's in charge, but also remember who is here on the ground fighting for you. That's important. There may be 1 or 2 votes here. We are fighting for you. And that's one thing that I hope does not get lost. And I think it's one of the reasons, too, why we are seeing in different parts of the country that independents are saying this is not right. That's why 6 in 10 Americans are saying where they're going on DHS is not right. And it's why we're fighting and will continue to fight the good fight until we get across that finish line in November.